Jeremy Jacobowitz literally worked his way up the food chain from working as a TV producer with the likes of Bobby Flay to channeling his passion for brunch as an Instagram influencer and becoming the force behind Brunch Boys. The Instagram page boasts over 463,000 followers and is the one-stop shop for mouth-watering food porn. Here to tell us more is Jeremy Jacobowitz.
Thanks for coming on. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Hey, welcome.
I know.
Put you guys up.
Thank you.
Incredible.
I know, feel free to take
It's
some.
taking so much willpower not just like start like shoveling food into my mouth.
I know.
right
Well,
now.
that's actually a big problem. One of the questions I get a lot is because like I treat these things like photo shoots, and it takes a while before I could eat them.
Yeah.
So people are always like, "Oh, I'm gonna come eat with you. I'm like, you want to come and eat cold food that I've like
Oh, no.
manipulated and touched for half an hour?
Oh, no.
Come on down. But, you know.
Yeah, so I love Brunch Boys. I love the page. I followed your recent trip to Japan.
It was the best thing I've ever done in my entire life.
It looked
like,
great.
Japan is my dream, and I got to
love
do it. And like,
Japan.
I was like, when I got home, I was like, I could quit Instagram and social media right now because I've peaked.
That really fancy steak sandwich. I
An
watched that one.
$85 Wagyu Sando from Tokyo,
Jeez.
worth it.
Wow,
worth it.
that
yeah.
was intense. So tell me, what inspired you to start Brunch Boys?
Right. So, like I said, I was a TV producer. So I started in sports TV. I worked at SNY, worked at WWE, and then I found my way into food TV. So I was just a PA, whatever. But then I was Bobby Flay's PA. So it was like his assistant on set. So I was in the food world producing food shows, food competition, food travel, whatever. And I'm just someone that's bored. And
Okay.
in TV, and you're freelance, you go from gig to gig, and I always had time off. So 5 years ago, I was like, oh, I like want to make some fun videos. There's no thought to food Instagrams. There's no thought to any of that stuff. It didn't exist. But I was like, I'll make some videos. And brunch, I'm like, I love brunch. Everyone loves brunch. And I knew that from being on the TV side of it in more traditional media, no one wanted to talk about brunch. It was always like, oh, that's LA, New York, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is a project where no one's gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna do brunch. And that's what started. I'm just gonna make some weird videos, but then the Instagram took off. And then I
Yeah.
was like, oh, cool, I could do what I love, which is being in kitchens and being in restaurants and traveling and experiencing all these things, but do it on my own and not do it for TV shows.
Right, and fast forward, you actually went from being that PA for Bobby Flay to judging on the show.
Yeah, that was wild.
What
So
did that feel
I
like?
not only was I PA for Bobby for years, but I produced that show.
Right.
I worked on the pilot. I worked on the first 3
I
seasons.
love that show, by the way.
It's fantastic, and like I always say too, like if they have live audiences, like if you could ever just go experience watching Bobby just like cook for 40 minutes, especially in that environment, it does not come across in a 21 minute show just like the aura of him doing that thing. I mean, he's the king of lots of things, but food competition in particular, because he's been doing it for 20 years, it's special. But yeah, to go back as a judge was insane. To go back there with the same crew, same producers, except I was on a very different side of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And your Instagram page has now expanded to include IGTV videos, YouTube videos. Like, what
Yeah.
can your followers expect to see that's sort of new in the upcoming, season?
Yeah, I mean, I think from the beginning, every time I wake up every day, from when I started Brunch Boys to now, and it's like, okay, how could what I'm doing be different? When I started, there were no food Instagrams. That was easy to be different. That was brunch, cool. Now there's a million different people that have food Instagrams. Normal people just post tons of photos of food. People are producing food content in different ways. So I want to be different. So okay, IGTV, I can tell longer stories. I could do different things. I could take the background that I had in producing TV and apply it even more to what I'm doing on social media. That's what YouTube gives me. And that's what IGTV gives me. And it's just like taking these things and putting my own spin on it.
Right, yeah.
Well, you've definitely made the food pick into an art form. I mean, you make it from what people do it the basic bitch kind of ways to like you're doing it like Michelangelo. What is your process like? Like, do you have a photographer with you? Do you have a videographer? Do you just do it by yourself? Like, what is it like when you go to these places?
So I learned very quickly that it's cheaper if I learn how to do it. So when I was a producer, it was always like, I would say I had this vision for things to have happen, but then I would just tell more talented people how to do it. It's okay, camera guys, an audio guy, whatever. But since when the Instagram took off, I was like, I need to figure this out. So I self-taught myself how to shoot, self-taught myself how to edit. I do everything here and there. I'll hire people when I can, if it's like a bigger project. But day to day, if I'm in a restaurant, it's a one-man band.
Right. And how do you get that perfect picture? The perfect foodgram, you know?
I think there's a few general things and then a few specific things. I think one, the first thing I do when I walk into any restaurant is lighting.
Okay.
I think for food particularly, and a photo, natural light's the best. For videos, you can get away with more light and things different. So I have lights, I bring a thing for that stuff. But for photos, I literally walk into a restaurant and people think I'm crazy. So I'm looking around, I'm like, where's the natural light? We're gonna go. And At this point, most of my shoots are the restaurant's closed, so it makes it way easier. But back in the day, before I really set up these shoots to go in, I would ask very nicely if maybe we can move a table around, or maybe I'm like, that table right there is the only one I can sit at this restaurant. Is there any way we can move those customers? I was like, I'll wait. I always put out there, I'm like, I will wait because I don't want to waste anyone's time. But if, maybe throw them an app and ask them to move over one table, maybe they'll be happy.
Wow, that's
it's intense.
Yeah.
I know maybe not everyone could do that, but I obviously have the luxury of
Committed
they
to your
invited me
craft.
in, and I said, like, I view it very much like a job, and I want to make sure I get the best content possible. And if I'm not doing that, I'm doing the restaurant a disservice, I'm doing myself a disservice, I'm doing my audience a disservice.
Well, and you mentioned this before, so like whenever you're out with friends and that you're about to dive in, like, don't touch that, I'm gonna take the picture of the food. And then you have to wait basically until they take the picture and the food's cold or whatever. So do you now, like, can you ever just go to a restaurant and eat when the food comes out hot? Or you just are used to cold food now?
I'm very used to cold food. But that was the thing I was used to from TV anyway, which is nice. I do try and have a separation of real shoots and more casual things. And more casual stuff, yeah, I still kind of want to get a nice photo for stories maybe, but that I could do in 30 seconds. Where like a real food shot, if I'm going to put on the feed, I mean, at least 5 minutes just for the thing, but then I'm doing video too. Yeah. I mean, it's at least 15 minutes of manipulating that dish to make it
But
look
does
good.
every meal make the feed?
Yes. So the way I view everything is, like I said, they're all shoots that I set up and I go to. So I probably have about 3 to 4 shoots a week, and those are all.
Oh, but not every one of your personal breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
No, I always say my real meals don't actually make it
Okay,
anywhere.
that's-
You're going to
that's
sneak
what
peek.
I figured.
My real meals
Yeah.
are very sad.
That's like-
They're very healthy and clean between all the chaos of
Right.
this.
Hey, Sweet Green, great job with the salad. Cool.
Right, I'm like, there's only so many times I can post eggs and avocado every
Right.
single day.
And what are your favorite food hashtags to use?
Well, I think that the strategy with hashtags is you don't want to go so big. So the biggest one I probably use is like, I don't know, brunch, because I'm posting brunch.
Yeah.
But I try and find more things that are more specific, but sort of like a nice trending thing. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the thing. All right, so we have a plate of hummus. All right, and let me do hashtag hummus and then see what other things come up with hummus. It's like maybe there's
Hashtag Jews.
Right. Well, there's a few things I get in trouble with on Instagram, and it is particularly with this type of food. It's whatever. We don't. I don't want.
What
I
is
don't,
it? Oh my
we don't
God.
need trolls coming after anything. It's
Hashtag
fine.
moist.
I don't.
That's
I'm
a good food quality. Like if you have a cake, moist.
Yeah,
Baby
but
cake,
like
moist.
I'm not a like weird moist person actually, but for food in particular, I don't know if I would ever. Yeah, I guess yeah. If you're right, you don't want a dry cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would type it in.
Unless you love
Here's
hashtagging dry ass cake, you should be like, I don't want to follow that hashtag.
But here's what I would do. If I wanted to hashtag moist, I would look at that hashtag first and see if there's other food photos. Because if there's no food
God.
photos there, then you're doing your post a disservice because
Right.
you're
Yeah.
showing people something that they don't want to
That
see.
makes
So it
sense.
could be good, it could be
Instagram
bad.
rules, I feel like it's probably gonna be food because we can't have anything else on there.
That's
that would be
true.
moist.
People are weird.
It's
God
funny
knows
how
if they have
that
a different
might
voice
get
hashtag.
some people that you didn't expect. Like when I first started posting my stand-up videos, I would just hashtag it boobs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, there, you know,
That's what you should do.
if that would work for me, I would do it.
But you're doing
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, how do you balance like having advertisements and opportunities, but also staying authentic to your brand?
I think that's huge, and that's one of the first lessons I learned. I was just talking to someone the other day about this, and it was like at the beginning when I started making money, I didn't realize I could start making money. People just were like, "We'll pay you,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, that's so weird. All right, yeah, pay me. I'll do whatever you want." But very quickly, I learned that there's a difference. No, very quickly I learned that there's a difference between people buying ads on what I do and people buying sponsored content. And I always like what I sell is sponsored content. If you think you're buying an ad from me, I'm just going to say no to you.
Yeah.
I turn down many, many, many brands and lots and lots of money because I'm like, that doesn't fit in what I do. So I'd say most of the content on my page is organic anyway. The restaurants don't pay me. That is all just, hey, we have this really cool dish. Come in and shoot it. I think this will be dope.
Yeah.
That's majority of the content. When it comes to the sponsored content, my job still is to take it and make it cool. Like my Japan trip was all sponsored. And I should make it clear it's sponsored, which I did with hashtag ads and blah, 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 whatever. But the content itself should feel just like all my other stuff where like it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone cared that I was getting paid to be in Japan.
No.
They were just like, wow, you're producing dope videos. And part of my reason was like, yeah, I got money to like actually put behind something
Right.
for once. I
Right.
could go even above and beyond what I normally do with it. So I
That's
think
so
that's the balance of it is like, listen, that's how I make all my money. I have to do it. But making sure that it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all.
Right.
Since becoming an influencer, has it changed your perception of the food and restaurant industry at all?
Not really. I mean, I was in that world anyway. I was in restaurants every day. I was
Yeah.
with all these chefs. Like, it's been my role for 8 years. I think what's nice is that my passion for it hasn't gone away. When I worked in sports TV, my passion for sports went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to be at the games every night, and I'm like, I just want to go home. I don't like this anymore. And I never was able to get that passion back. With food, I feel like the more immersed I am in it, the more passionate I've actually become with it, which is really amazing.
And because you know food so well, what is the most, in your opinion, Instagrammable dish?
I think that the more basic food you have, the more likes you'll get. Because I just think it's what the more people are accustomed to. Listen, you could go wacky doodle, whatever, and people go crazy. But I think in terms of food, it's like French fries and pizza and
Right.
pasta. Everyone's like,
I know this.
yeah, I just ate this. Oh man, especially when like the audience, the engaged audience on Instagram is younger, more like early 20s. Like they eat that food all the
Yeah.
time, and like there's like yes. So I think like that's the sort of thing with it.
But some food doesn't translate. Like I tried to take a picture of chicken parm, and it looks like remember Martha Stewart were posting those gross food
Yeah.
pictures. Like that picture I took, it's a beautiful chicken parm, but it looked just gross
Yeah.
and greasy. Like
Well, you eat gross shit.
I love good food. I'm kidding. But are there some foods you're like, sorry, I just can't take a picture of that. It's just not gonna work.
I don't know. I mean, looking at the table here, I'm like, okay, like hummus is beautiful. Maybe a little pita squeeze in there. I'm like, maybe the pickles don't pop as much. But I think like my job is to make it look good.
pop.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I always say, there's weird things. Like a sandwich is a great example. Sometimes you look at a sandwich, you're like, oh, it looks kind of cool. But I'm like, all right, well, what if we cut it in half? What if we stack it? And then all of a sudden you have the beautiful middle layer of like, oh, it was hiding there the whole time. So there are ways to manipulate the dish without changing the dish. Like I always say, like, if you look at all these food Instagrams, like someone would be like, oh, I stuffed French fries in a cheeseburger. Look at my post. I'm like, that's not the dish. You just did something stupid.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is manipulating it in a way that it's still true to the dish, just
Yeah.
is better, which was my background on TV. That's
Yeah.
what I was doing. I was in restaurants being like, okay, this dish is great, but it would look a little better. Maybe just like a drizzle of sauces, maybe like add a little pop of color, like highlighting what's there.
Right. Tell us some New York City restaurants that we should look out for.
All right, well, here are some of my favorites. We'll start with Gatto. I mean, that's Bobby Flay's restaurant,
Yeah.
so I got to say that. And it's down the street.
So
and they're open
good.
for lunch. We could go after.
Mushroom paella.
Yes, the kale paella. The #1 dish on the menu is their vegetarian dish, which is
Wow.
so crazy.
It's really good.
Fantastic. I love Pig and Cow, which is like Southeastern Asian, spicy. Speedy Romeo, right across the street from Pig and Cow, great. Flex Muscles has like the Everything Bagel donuts, which are fantastic. And then, of course, 12 Chairs, which I brought you guys, which is great. It's in West Village, and it's a block away from me in Williamsburg, and it means I eat there a
It's
ton.
good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
really good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you guys.